Tehilliym 76. To the chief musician on Negana, a mizmor or song of Asaph. In Yehuda is Elohim known. His name is great in Yasharel. In Shalem also is his tabernacle, and his dwelling place in Sion. There broke he the arrows of the bow, the shield and the sword, and the battle. Selah. You are more glorious and excellent than the mountains of prey. The stout-hearted are spoiled. They have slept their sleep, and none of the men of might have found their hands. At your rebuke, O Elohai of Yaakov, both the chariot and horse are cast into a deep sleep. You, even you, are to be feared, and who may stand in your sight, when once you are angry? You did cause judgment to be heard from heaven. The earth feared and was still. When Elohim arose to judgment, to save all the meek of the earth, Selah. Surely the wrath of man shall praise you. The remainder of wrath shall you restrain. Vow and pay unto Yahweh Elohaikum. Let all that be round about him bring presents unto him that ought to be feared. He shall cut off the ruach of princes. He is terrible to the kings of the earth. Tehillim 77. To the chief musician, to Yeduthun, a mizmor of Asaph. I cried unto Elohim with my voice, even unto Elohim with my voice, and he gave ear unto me. In the day of my trouble I sought Adonai. My sore ran in the night and ceased not. My soul refused to be comforted. I remembered Elohim and was troubled. I complained, and my ruach was overwhelmed. Selah. You hold my eyes waking. I am so troubled that I cannot speak. I have considered the days of old, the years of ancient times. I call to remembrance my song in the night. I commune with my own heart, and my ruach made a diligent search. Will Yahweh cast off forever? And will he be favorable no more? Is his mercy clean gone forever? Does his promise fail forevermore? Has El forgotten to be gracious? Has he in anger shut up his tender mercies? Selah. And I said, this is my infirmity, but I will remember the years of the right hand of El Elyon. I will remember the works of Yah. Surely I will remember your wonders of old. I will meditate also of all your work and talk of your doings. Your way, O Elohim, is in the sanctuary. Who is so great an El as our Elohim? You are the El that does wonders. You have declared your strength among the people. You have with your arm redeemed your people, the sons of Yaakov and Yosef. Selah. The waters saw you, O Elohim. The waters saw you. They were afraid. The depths also were troubled. The clouds poured out water. The skies sent out a sound. Your arrows also went abroad. The voice of your thunder was in heaven. The lightnings lightninged the world. The earth trembled and shook. Your way is in the sea, and your path in the great waters, and your footsteps are not known. You led your people like a flock by the hand of Moshe and Aharon. Tehillim 78. Maskil of Asaph. Give ear, O my people, to my Torah. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. We will not hide them from their children, showing to the generation to come the praises of Yahweh and his strength, and his wonderful works that he has done. For he established a testimony in Yaakov, and appointed a Torah in Yasharel, which he commanded our fathers, that they should make them known to their children. that the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children, that they might set their hope in Elohim, and not forget the works of El, but guard his commandments, and might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart aright, and whose ruach was not steadfast with El. The children of Ephraim, being armed and carrying bows, turned back in the day of battle. They did not guard the covenant of Elohim, and refused to walk in his Torah, and forgot his works, and his wonders that he had showed them. Marvelous things did he in the sight of their fathers, in the land of Mizraim, in the field of Soan. He divided the sea and caused them to pass through, and he made the waters to stand as a heap. In the daytime also he led them with a cloud, and all the night with a light of fire. He clave the rocks in the wilderness, and gave them drink as out of the great depths. He brought streams also out of the rock, and caused waters to run down like rivers. And they sinned yet more against him by provoking El Elyon in the wilderness. They tempted El in their heart by asking meat for their lust. Yea, they spoke against Elohim. They said, Can El furnish a table in the wilderness? Behold, he smote the rock, that the waters gushed out, and the streams overflowed. Can he give bread also? Can he provide flesh for his people? Therefore Yahweh heard this and was wroth. So a fire was kindled against Yaakov, and anger also came up against Yasharel, because they believed not in Elohim, and trusted not in his Yeshua. Though he had commanded the clouds from above, and opened the doors of heaven, and had rained down manna upon them to eat, and had given them of the grains of heaven. Man did eat angels' food. He sent them meat to the full. He caused an east wind to blow in the heavens, and by his power he brought in the south wind. He rained flesh also upon them as dust, and feathered fowls like as the sand of the sea. And he let it fall in the midst of their camp, round about their habitations. So they did eat and were filled, for he gave them their own desire. They were not estranged from their lust, but while their meat was yet in their mouths, the wrath of Elohim came upon them, and slew the fattest of them, and smote down the chosen men of Yasharel. For all this they sinned still, and believed not for his wondrous works. Therefore their days did he consume in vanity, and their years in trouble. When he slew them, then they sought him, and they returned and inquired early after El. And they remembered that Elohim was their rock, and El Elyon their redeemer. Nevertheless they did flatter him with their mouth, and they lied unto him with their tongues. For their heart was not right with him, neither were they steadfast in his covenant. But he, being full of compassion, forgave their iniquity, and destroyed them not. Yea, many a time turned he his anger away, and did not stir up all his wrath. For he remembered that they were but flesh, a wind that passes away and comes not again. How oft did they provoke him in the wilderness, and grieve him in the desert? Yea, they turned back and tempted El, and limited the Holy One of Yasharel. They remembered not his hand, nor the day when he delivered them from the enemy. How he had wrought his signs in Mizraim, and his wonders in the field of Soan, and had turned their rivers into blood, and their floods, that they could not drink. He sent divers sorts of flies among them, which devoured them, and frogs which destroyed them. He gave also their increase unto the caterpillar, and their labor unto the locust. He destroyed their vines with hail, and their sycamore trees with frost. He gave up their cattle also to the hail, and their flocks to the hot thunderbolts. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation, and trouble, by sending evil angels among them. He made a way to his anger. He spared not their soul from death, but gave their life over to the pestilence, and smote all the firstborn in Mizraim, the chief of their strength in the tabernacles of Cham, but made his own people to go forth like sheep, and guided them in the wilderness like a flock. And he led them on safely, so that they feared not, but the sea overwhelmed their enemies. And he brought them to the border of his sanctuary, even to this mountain, which his right hand had purchased. He cast out the heathen also before them, and divided them an inheritance by line, and made the tribes of Yasharel to dwell in their tents. Yet they tempted and provoked Elohim Elyon, and did not guard his testimonies, but turned back and dealt unfaithfully like their fathers. They were turned aside like a deceitful bow, for they provoked him to anger and their high places, and moved him to jealousy with their graven images. When Elohim heard this, he was wroth, and greatly abhorred Yasharel, so that he forsook the tabernacle of Shiloh, the tent which he placed among men, and delivered his strength into captivity, and his glory into the enemy's hand. He gave his people over also unto the sword, and was wroth with his inheritance. The fire consumed their young men, and their maidens were not given to marriage. Their priests fell by the sword, and their widows made no lamentation. Then Adonai awoke as one out of sleep, and like a mighty man that shouts by reason of wine. And he smote his enemies in the hinder parts. He put them to a perpetual reproach. Moreover, he refused the tabernacle of Joseph, and chose not the tribe of Ephraim, but chose the tribe of Yehudah, the Mount Sion which he loved. And he built his sanctuary like high palaces, like the earth which he has established forever. He chose David also his servant, and took him from the sheepfolds. From following the ewes great with young, he brought him to feed Yaakov, his people, and Yasharel, his inheritance. So he fed them according to the integrity of his heart, and guided them by the skillfulness of his hands. Tehilliym 79, a Mizmor of Asaph. O Elohim, the heathen are come into your inheritance. Your holy temple have they defiled. They have laid Jerusalem on heaps. The dead bodies of your servants have they given to be meat unto the fowls of the heavens, the flesh of your chassid unto the beasts of the earth. Their blood have they shed like water round about Jerusalem, and there was none to bury them. We are become a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and derision to them that are round about us. How long, Yahweh? Will you be angry forever? Shall your jealousy burn like fire? Pour out your wrath upon the heathen that have not known you, and upon the kingdoms that have not called upon your name. For they have devoured Yaakov, and laid waste his dwelling place. O remember not against us former iniquities. Let your tender mercies speedily prevent us, for we are brought very low. Help us, O Elohai of our Yeshua, for the glory of your name, and deliver us, and purge away our sins, for your name's sake. Wherefore should the heathen say, where is their Elohim? Let him be known among the heathen in our sight by the revenging of the blood of your servants which is shed. Let the sighing of the prisoner come before you. According to the greatness of your power, preserve those that are appointed to die, and render unto our neighbors sevenfold into their bosom their reproach, wherewith they have reproached you, O Adonai. So we, your people and sheep of your pasture, will give you thanks forever. We will show forth your praise to all generations. Tehilliym, chapter 80. To the chief musician upon Shushanim, Eduth, a mizmor of Akaf. Give ear, O shepherd of Yasharel, you that lead Yosef like a flock, you that dwell between the cheruvim, shine forth. Before Ephraim and Benjamin and Manasseh, stir up your strength and come and save us. Turn us again, O Elohim, and cause your face to shine, and we shall be saved. O Yahweh Elohim Sebaoth, how long will you be angry against the prayer of your people? You feed them with the bread of tears, and give them tears to drink in great measure. You make us a strife unto your neighbors, and our enemies laugh among themselves. Turn us again, O Elohim Sebaoth, and cause your face to shine, and we shall be saved. You have brought a vine out of Misraim. You have cast out the heathen, and planted it. You prepared room before it, and did cause to take deep root, and it filled the land. The hills were covered with the shadow of it, and the boughs thereof were like the goodly cedars. She sent out her boughs unto the sea, and her branches unto the river. Why have you then broken down her hedges, so that all they which pass by the way do pluck her? The boar out of the wood wastes it, and the wild beast of the field devours it. Return, we beseech you, O Elohim Sebaoth. Look down from heaven, and behold, and visit this vine, and the vineyard which your right hand has planted, and the branch that you made strong for yourself. It is burned with fire, it is cut down. They perish at the rebuke of your countenance. Let your hand be upon the man of your right hand, upon the son of Adam, whom you made strong for yourself. So will not we go back from you. Quicken us, and we will call upon your name. Turn us again, O Yahweh Elohim Sebaoth. Cause your face to shine, and we shall be saved. Amen.